you know crops like corn, soybeans, and sugarcane are used to produce biofuels? Hi, we are the Group 10. Join us and let's explore the biochemistry of biofuels. This topic is important in agriculture because modern farms rely on sustainable fuel sources to reduce costs, support productivity, and protect the environment. Understanding the biochemical processes behind biofuel production helps us, future agriculturists, innovate greener and more efficient farming systems. But what are biofuels?
Biofuels are fuels produced from biomass of plants, algae, and microorganisms. There are two biomolecules used to produce biofuels, that is lipids and carbohydrates. Lipids are used to produce biodiesel, while carbohydrates are used to produce bioethanol. Why is it important in agriculture? Biofuels lowers farm fuel costs and utilizes agricultural waste. Biofuels help reduce emissions and support sustainable farming.
Lipids are made up of fatty acids and glycerol. In the presence of a catalyst, sodium hydroxide or potassium hydroxide, and alcohol, the fatty acids are converted into fatty acid methyl esters or FAME, which is a biodiesel. These are the sources of lipids for biodiesel production. First, microalgae are excellent sources of lipids because they grow quickly and can produce a very high oil content. Second, oilseed crops like soybean, canola, and palm oil provide large amounts of vegetable oils used in biodiesel. Third, waste cooking oil is a cheap and eco-friendly lipid source since it recycles used oils into biofuel. Fourth, animal fats from meat processing such as tallow and lard can also be converted into biodiesel. Lastly, some lipid-producing yeast can store over half of their weight as oils, making them good alternative sources.
This diagram shows the basic process of making biodiesel from lipids. We start with triglycerides, which are the main fats found in oil. Through transesterification, these triglycerides react with alcohol and a catalyst. This reaction produces biodiesel, which is the renewable fuel, and glycerol, which is the useful byproduct. Agricultural applications of biodiesel. Fuel for farm machinery. Biodiesel is used to run tractors, harvesters, and irrigation pumps, help reduce emission and engine wear. Second, lower fuel costs for farmers. Farmers can produce biodiesel from local crops or waste oils, reducing dependence on expensive petroleum diesel. Third, cleaner air for farms. Biodiesel burns cleaner, producing less smoke and pollutants, important when operating near crops, workers, and livestock. Now, let's talk about the biochemistry of carbohydrate conversion to bioethanol. In biofuel production, carbohydrates are broken down into simple sugars. Yeast or Saccharomyces cerevisiae converts glucose into ethanol through fermentation. Ethanol is distilled to increase the purity.
These are the sources of carbohydrates for bioethanol production. First, sugar-rich crops like sugarcane and sugar beet are major sources of carbohydrates for bioethanol because their sucrose can be easily fermented into ethanol.
Second, starch-rich crops such as corn, cassava, wheat, and sweet potato are widely used because their starch can be converted into fermentable sugars.
Third, lignocellulosic biomass, including agricultural residues like rice straw, corn stubble, and bagasse, provides abundant complex carbohydrates that can be broken down into sugars for ethanol production.
This diagram shows how carbohydrates are converted into ethanol. We begin with carbohydrates, which are broken down through hydrolysis to form glucose. The glucose then undergoes fermentation, where microorganisms convert it into ethanol and carbon dioxide. This is the basic biochemical pathway used in bioethanol production.
These are the Philippine biofuels and agri-bioenergy. In Negros Occidental, sugarcane mills power bioethanol production. Companies like San Carlos Bioenergy run distilleries that convert cane juice into fuel-grade ethanol, supporting both the sugar industry and local energy demand.
Coconut biodiesel mandate under the Biofuel Act. The Philippines Biofuel Act, or RA 9367, requires that diesel be blended with cocoa methyl ester, or CME, derived from coconut oil. The Department of Energy recently mandated a 3% CME blend, expanded to 4% and 5% in the coming years.
Agri-waste ethanol from rice straw. Rice is developing technology to make bioethanol from rice straw, a widely available agricultural residue, turning waste into fuel and providing a value stream for rice farmers.
In summary, lipids and carbohydrates from plants and microbes under biochemical processes that transform them into biodiesel and bioethanol.
These renewable fuels help reduce farm expenses, support sustainability, and lessen our environmental impact.
As future agriculturists, understanding the biochemistry behind biofuel production gives us the power to innovate and contribute to a cleaner and more efficient agriculture future.
Biofuels are not just science, they are the future of sustainable agriculture.